Good morning, everyone. Got your coffee? I got mine. So listen, before I get started saying what I want to say today, I want to say thank you so much to B. Benton. B. Benton, thank you so much for buying me a cup of coffee, my love. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. So listen, I'm having a wonderful day today. Today is the day that the HVAC guy is supposed to get back in contact with me regarding the HVAC situation. He had to make sure that the compressor for it was available because that's what's wrong with it. It has a bad compressor on it. And you know, those are pricey. So he's supposed to get back with me today. I don't know if he's going to fix it today, but well, actually, I do know that he's not going to fix it today. He's not going to be able to fix it until Wednesday because that's when Don will be home. I don't really care for having strange men in the house when my husband isn't here. You know, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it because of safety reasons, but I also don't want to do it because of emotional safety reasons because, you know, men, you know, they can be a bit disrespectful at times. You know, that's why I prefer to work with women, but we don't have enough women in the skilled trades. Women, get into the skilled trades. Women like me would really appreciate that. I prefer your energy over that of a man's, you know. The men try to railroad us. They try to lie to us. They try to play us like we stupid, you know, and they talk over us. And, you know, and I don't want to deal with that, especially in my own house because, you know, at this big age, I just don't have patience for it. And I'll just snap. You know, I will pop off on you at this big age. I really will because don't come in my house talking over me. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. Anyway, listen. Before I get started saying what I want to say, Audrey, baby, my love, I forgot to be inclusive of these that you sent. Look at what Audrey sent to the library pantry, y'all. Speaking of the library pantry, I've been making up bags this morning because I got a couple of seniors that's coming by to get some bags of food. So that's what I was doing like last night. I hope I have enough. And so these are like freeze bars. So I'm like, I can't freeze them and put them in there because it has to be no less than 105 degrees inside that metal container this time of year. They wouldn't even survive, say 20 minutes, even frozen at, you know, its highest peak. So I don't know if your idea was for me to put them in there like this and just let the kids take them home and freeze them. I don't know, but I'm gonna put them in there and we'll see what they do. Thank you, baby. Anyway, these are a real big thing with the library pantry. I'll tell you, the kids just love these. You know, I keep saying I'm gonna take one and I never do because I'm like, I really don't want to take one from a child, you know, but look, can I just open it? This is the first time I've done this, by the way. Look at this. This is awesome. Anyway, okay, so that's my moment of being a kid. You know, sometimes you got to cater to the child inside of us. You know, we got to do that from time to time. But anyway, that's a real big thing this summer. And then I got this delivered to me, and I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a purse, and I was like, who sent me a purse? Because I don't buy purses anymore. I have so many purses, I just don't buy them anymore. You know, as a matter of fact, I've given away a lot of my bags. I've donated them. So I was like, what is this? And then I forgot just that fast that we were going to be doing the backpacks. And I only ordered one because I wanted to see at this price because remember I told you how expensive these things are. These backpacks are like $30. But I found this one for $17. And I wanted to see how big it was and everything and if it would be a good option for the library pantry. Because remember, we only doing 10 of these because I can only afford to do 10 of them. And I think that's a good size. What do you all think? And it got 4 stars in the review, you know, because I'm a frugal person. I really am. I'm not cheap. It's a difference between cheap and frugal. What do y'all think about that? I think that's pretty good. You know, for 17 bucks. And then they had them in other colors. Like if you want a pink one or a blue one or something like that, it costs a couple bucks more. But we're just going to do standard black because I see no reason why the girls can't do black either. And then I found like a package, like a box of black loose leaves. All we're going to put in here, because again, you know, money, you know, All we're going to put in here are these packs of, inside the backpack are packs of papers, pens, pencils. I'm going to go to the dollar store. I'm going to get some of those, you know, those, what do you call those, like pencil holders, you know, those types of little plastic baggy things. We're going to put some erasers in there. We're going to put some pencils in there. We're going to put some ink pens in there. I'm going to try to do calculators. We're going to put some packs of loose leaves in there. We're going to put some age appropriate books in there because we got plenty of books. We're going to put some spiral notebooks in there. And that's it. That's it. And I'm only doing 10 of them, y'all. Please don't send any of these to the library pantry. I mean, not to the to my P.O. box. I'm going to grab them myself because that P.O. box, they be giving me the flux with it sometimes because I got the smallest P.O. box because it was the cheapest, remember? And they do be saying little slick shit about, you know, some of the packages that get sent to that P.O. box. But I got it. I'm going to do it. So anyway, enough of that. Listen, and Audrey, so sorry that I forgot that box, but thank you again. Okay, listen. There is a conversation that I want to have with Black people, but I think that it's not best to have it here because it's not for everybody's ears. It's not. This is a conversation that Black people need to have with one another, especially considering what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma on June 19th, 2025. I want to talk about it, but I want to have a more in-depth discussion about it. And this is the kind of conversation where we do not need other people in it. So we're going to have this conversation over in the room, you know, and it's going to be one of those conversations that you're going to need to brace yourself for, Black people, because it's going to be all about the truth. You know, that's what this platform is about. It's about us discussing our issues, and it's about Black folks figuring out how we can, you know, do better and be better. And we can't do that without having extremely uncomfortable dialogue with one another. And this is one of those conversations, and we do not need the input and opinions of other people in this conversation. So we're going to have it over in the room. Okay. Okay. Now, with that being said, the next thing that I would like to talk about, we can discuss over here this morning. And I'd like to talk a little bit about Earl Smith. If you don't know who Earl Smith is by name, Earl Smith was the Black gentleman, older gentleman, who was found hanging in Albany, New York. You know, I remember trying to have this conversation with Black people 20 years ago because that was when it came on my radar, you know, and I could have been slow on the draw. Not as slow as a lot of Black people, but I could have been slow on the draw. But it was 20 years ago that it came on my radar while working in activism that I realized that Black people were still being found hung in this nation. They're still lynching us actively in one way or another. And then whenever one of our bodies is found swinging from a tree, they say that we unalived ourselves, that we killed ourselves. And we know, and you all know a little bit about my history, and I don't mind talking about it. As a child, an adult who suffered a lot of childhood trauma in my life, I tried 4 times to unalive myself. And never once did it ever occur to me to do it with a rope, swinging from a tree in the woods away from everyone. Never in my life did it ever occur to me to do it like that. My weapon of choice was pills, you know, I would just grab everything that I could get my hands on. And that's how I would do it. As a matter of fact, one of my kidneys to this day doesn't function properly because of a suicide attempt. I remember one time contemplating one of my firearms, but never in my life have I ever contemplated hanging myself in a tree in the woods away from where anyone that gave a damn about me could find me. I never once thought about doing that. Black people do not kill ourselves that way. And finally, this is the story. Rest in peace to Mr. Earl Smith. But this is the story where Black people are clearly wanting to have the conversation. Because I can remember 20 years ago trying to have this conversation with Black people and being virtually, literally ignored by Black people. And I get it now. You know, I'm 20 years wiser. And I get it. It's traumatizing. It's painful. Our history, it's a hard thing to talk about. People don't want to talk about it. They turn away from it. They don't want to think that this kind of crime is still happening against us. But it is. It is. They are still lynching us. Not just killing unarmed black people in the streets at the hands of uniformed police officers, but you have racist whites who belong to white supremacist groups, who support white supremacist ideology, who are actively hanging black people. Those twins found in the mountains, that was a lynching. No way those babies killed themselves. But these are the conversations that black people, we gotta start having, as painful as they are. And I think that we have evolved enough to the point, because, evolution takes time. And I think that we have finally evolved to a point where we can have these very difficult, very hard, very painful, excruciating to have conversations with each other. His family don't believe that he killed himself. His community doesn't believe that he killed himself. The people of Albany, New York do not believe that this man killed himself. And as far as we know, there's no real, they said it was an unaliving, and there's no further investigation going on. But I'm happy to see that this one doesn't seem like it will be in vain, because black people are locking on to this death, and we're not letting it go, and we shouldn't let it go, especially when this new president has created this intense racial, hateful atmosphere. We can't let it go, because we will see more and more instances like this. We can't let anything, any transgression against us go. We can't keep letting it go. We got to talk about it. We got to hold people accountable. And considering where this man was found, I refuse to believe that there's no footage nowhere. Nowhere to be had. There's just no footage. There are cameras everywhere now. Everywhere. And there's no footage. These conversations are devastating. These acts against us are devastating and traumatizing. And I understand why our ancestors, those that came before us, had a hard time talking to us about them, because they lived through these times when they would have to walk down a street and it wasn't uncommon to see a black body swinging, and they would have to divert their eyes or else be next. Excuse me. But we have a little more power now. We have voices now. We have cameras now. We have platforms now. We can talk about it now. We have to. All these black truck drivers that are gone missing, we have to talk about it. They're not just evaporating into thin air. Something sinister is going on, and we got to talk about it, because we are not safe. And the more racist and hateful this administration becomes, the more unsafe we become. That's one of the reasons why we don't have the time to be worried about what white folks are doing, what the Asians are doing, what the Latinos are doing, what the Hispanics are doing, what the Palestinians are doing. And we don't have time for this fuck shit that's going on with Iran right now that we done been dragged into. By the way, they are promising to deliver 50,000 dead U.S. soldiers to our doorstep. You know, this also reminds me of another difficult conversation that Black people don't want to have, and we have to talk about why it is so many of us are missing. I remember when I used to think that it was just an urban legend, a myth, you know, it was just a conspiracy theory about Black people and organ harvesting. I don't think that anymore. Black organs are in higher demand than any other organ. And look at how many of us go missing. That organ harvesting shit is real. And I think that's what's also happening to a lot of Black bodies as well. And I don't know if we're ready for that conversation. It's a separate conversation, but it's all relative. These are hard conversations, y'all. I get it. I get it, babies. But we got to start having them. With that being said, that is all that I have for today. You have a righteous day. Try to have a happy day. I'm sorry that the subject matter was so grim, but we got to talk about it. That's the only way we can start fixing what's going on. Y'all have a good day. With that being said, if you would like to donate to the platform, we could definitely use it. I will leave my Cash App and my Venmo down in the comments. If you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee today, same deal. Y'all have a good day. Stay righteous and do something nice for someone. It will help you feel better in this crazy ass world.